Okay, so remember that one Hanukkah movie that was made by Adam Sandler that bombed because critics hated it, and the fact that it was an animated movie in the 2000s made by Happy Madison. I just finished it, and I thought for this Christmas season, I thought I could talk about a few Christmas movies for this channel, and I decided to watch this. But before we can get to the movie, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, or else. And now with that out of the way, let's get to the movie. And of course, this goes without saying that there will be spoilers regarding to the film, so if you watch it, then I suggest that you leave the video. And with that out of the way, let's get to the movie. The movie starts with a guy talking about how there was once a person who was good, kind, and sweet. Now he's become a sad, sad loser. That loser is played by Adam Sandler. So we see the guy Adam was talking about eating in a Chinese restaurant and just being a disturbance to everyone. And after that, we see him outside being drunk as fuck and starts a police chase where the Chinese stereotype calls him out for not paying his fee. While that's happening, we see him being an asshole, knocking down stuff, ruining celebrations, pushing people down, and just being a complete dickhead of a human being. And after destroying a Santa and honker icicle, the police catch him. We cut forward to a courthouse where everyone is arguing about how Davey basically has gone too far. And the judge says that he has tried everything to get Davey on the right path, but so far nothing has worked. That is until an old man with an ear-grating voice has a proposition to have him be a referee for a basketball ball group. We cut to a locker room where we get an disturbing close-up on Whitey's ass. Davey flips him up and cut to the basketball room where Davey walks in, and after Whitey asks him if he's really not going to wear those boots, he then proceeds to kick his boots, one of them hitting the lights and one hitting a man, which causes the game to start. The game is mostly going good so far, even though they're missing every shot like a modern Katy Perry album. The ball is passed to a fat kid, and when he starts running, he falls headfirst to the ground, and Whitey with no whistle at AV processes to blow the whistle, and we get this infamous scene where he makes fun of the kid, and the kid cries, and Whitey just makes the situation worse by saying, "You got very nice boobs," to which the starts running away crying. I know some people will call me heartless for this, but that scene was kind of funny, mostly where Whitey just makes the situation 10 times worse. The townspeople rightfully get mad at Davey for being a complete dickhead to a child. Davey dares them to throw something at him, and they do. Then, I don't why, but this scene just make me laugh. Whitey processes to get a seizure. The kids ask if he's break dancing, and he then tells everyone to leave if they want to see an old man dies, but not without getting one more little dig at the fat kid. Whitey says he wants to talk to David at his office, and then we transition to the mall. And then we are proceeded with multiple, and I mean multiple product placement: Foot Locker, Ying, FIFA, Radio Shack, Dunkin' Donuts, Panda Express, and so much more I haven't even mentioned, and it takes 30 seconds. I thought I was watching a movie, not a placement. Happy Madison. We cut to a bra shop where we see the fat kid putting on a bra, and the employee says, "Aren't you a boy?" And the kid runs away crying. Guess he took that insult a little too seriously. Whitey tells Davey he has to take his job seriously and think about the kids and stuff. David takes a box of fries and spills them out with a visual gag that says, "Bite me." We meet a woman and her son, who after David shows his Hanukkah spirit. We cut to a flashback when David and Jennifer were kids in a basketball court, where we learned that David was a somewhat decent kid, and we learned that Jennifer used to have a crush on him. After walking out of the mall, Whitey starts singing. He starts fucking singing, and it is as awful as you can imagine.
I want you to dance with me at the annual.
Skipping that, Whitey car breaks down and some deers help him. The next day, Whitey is helping some townsfolk put up a star on a tree. And it seems like David isn't the only jackass in this town. He's sent to clean the stalls and David pushes him into the cubicle and pushes him down a ledge. He then is spread with water and freezes. Later on the deers from earlier helps him out by licking the ice, which caused poop to go in their teeth. Lovely. We transition to the Dewsbury Community Center and Whitey invites David to refresh him about the rules. He tells him to fuck off and Whitey threatened to snitch on him about him stealing Jennifer's cookies. Then we see her kid, Benny, playing basketball by himself. They sit down to observe, and David being David, he insults the players by saying that he is better than them. The round starts and Gramps is out of the court immediately, so with no one to turn to he get Jennifer's Santo play. Things go well, Benny and David beat the guys, and just when Jennifer comes in her son says the word you she does not appreciate that her son said a cursed word and leaves. We then are subjected to more awful music. It basically tells us that Dave used to be a good kid, and even him and Jennifer has a relationship. Then we see one of the other guests from earlier burning his trailer down and David rushes in there to get a note, presumably from his parents. He goes to live with Whitey and his sister because he really has no choice. They go to his house and after a few misunderstandings, Whitey and his sister tell him that they are house rules he has to follow or be kicked out. And they do it though sung, and yes, it is worse than the last. Then we have a montage of Jin bonding with each other and it looks like that Davy is slowly starting to change. We cut to morning where Davy and Whitey's sister are talking to each other while Whitey is showing of his ice staking moves. Then Whitey's sister asks if Davy ever did staking, to which he says no, and we cut to a flashback where David, Jennifer and a bunch of other kids are hopped up and talking about how much they're basically losing. David has a plan and the team go along with it. They decides go along with it. Then plan works and the team wins. We then see two police officers talking to Whitey and they give Davy a note. Basically we find out that Davy's parents were in a car accident and they didn't survive. This causes Davy to get mad and leave. Jennifer tries to consult with him, but to no avail, and we also find out that he's been through foster home to foster home until his 18th birthday. Now this moment kind of made me feel bad for Davy, almost, but it's ruined by two things. One, I really don't like David to care about his sob story, and two, after this heart-wrenching scene it's ruined by Whitey's sister's annoying voice. Man, I don't know whose voice is more annoying, hers or Whitey. Davy blows this off of proportion and makes Whitey goes through the ringer by saying to that this pageant show is pointless and that the town doesn't even know they exist. Jennifer basically says what everyone was thinking, and he throws Whitey's sister's wig at the Chinese guy. Whitey and Eleanor, yes, I finally remember this character's name, start getting ready for the award show while David gets drunk, breaks into the mail and starts yelling at Jennifer's name along with other profanities. He then starts hallucinating all of the product placement we saw earlier, and then they say that they are going to finally make him cry. Psych, the terrible music. But hey, at least this one is tolerable. Then we finally see what's in the card, and after finally seeing what his parents wrote, he starts to cry. Then the police officers from earlier try to arrest him, but it does not work, and he escapes, and we transition to the pageant show. We then see Jennifer, Whitey, and Eleanor outside the community center. We then see the guy who took her wig. There was this subplot about Eleanor trying to find the person who stole her wig. She kicks the guy in the nuts and the wig ends up on the Chinese man's head. We cut back to Davy trying to escape the police, and we see a bus. Looks like Davy has an idea. We cut back to the party when the mayor announces the annual 30th 5 banquet. Davy goes to the bus to escape capacity. The mayor tells the most unfunny knock-knock joke of the century, but I guess that joke was funny to the townsfolk because everyone is laughing their ass off to the point even the deers start shitting from laughter because of these jokes. Davy starts remembering on the good times before the bus gets a flat tire and seeing the Hanukkah candle. He knows what he needs to do, After giving himself a wedge to the deers to prove he's here to apologize, the mayor announces the reward and the person who won is Tom. "You looks like Gramps didn't win this year." And as Whitey and Eleanor walk out, Davy walks into the community center and stands up to get the townsfolk attention. Jennifer convinces the townsfolk to let David speak for a while before he gets arrested. The mayor agreed to this, and then after the townsfolk don't listen to him, he starts singing again. Compared to the other ones, it's one of the tolerable ones from this film. Then the townsfolk starts singing about how they mistreated Whitey, and Jennifer sings about how when Whitey needed them the most they weren't there for him. And then the Chinese guy and some random dude starts some Bon Biddy song, and then we see Whitey and Eleanor driving home, and Eleanor is apologizing for how her brother didn't he get the award. They go to visit the mall, and Whitey goes to talk to the mall, and basically that's about how he didn't he win the award and how he just now realized that the town does not give a shit about him. He starts thinking about moving to the town next over just when Davey shows up just in time, coming up to apologize. But Whitey doesn't he believe him. Then the townsfolk comes out to apologize for neglecting and taking him for granted. Then they give him the 35 Metal Award, and so does the other townsfolk. Davey and Jennifer hold hand, and then he gets in seizure and says that this is the most happiest seizure has ever got. And that's how the movie ends. Now let's talk about my thoughts on it. So the movie was just kind of okay. I didn't really hate it, but I won't call it the best Hannah Carr movie ever. The characters were alright. Davey was an interesting character. He starts out like a shithead, but by the end he learns to not only to keep moving forward to the future, but to also stop being less of a dick. Whitey and Jennifer were okay. Whitey is the moral guardian to Davey. He kind sweet and would take the time off to help with whatever you're doing, and Jennifer is alright too, at least the latter doesn't possess an annoying voice, and she the one to put Davey in his place sometimes. But Yusha's just manly here so Davey can get in love interest. And yes, I know that they were holding hands by the end of the movie, but as far as I'm concerned they're officially end game. The side characters were annoying, but the most I can say about them is that they have some unfunny jokes they make. And speaking about jokes, the jokes were not that funny. Not like I don't mind some crude humor here and there, but the jokes in here were definitely the weakest part. It's almost like something you see in a typical vid-C-pop show, of course without the poop jokes obviously, and the animation was surprisingly good for an Happy Madison film. It's just a shame that this film bombed at the box office. It had an estimated budget of around $34 million and it only earned around $23.6 million at the box office, which explains why we never got another animated film by them, with the combination of critics just hating any movie with Adam Sandler's name on it, and that this was an animated film released in the early 2000s. This film was just doomed from the start. Let's see, have I forgotten anything else? Oh, the shitty musicals. Oh my god, the musicals in this film are terrible. It's like they got some homeless bum on the street and asked him to sing in the recording booth. So that's all I have to say about this film. But if you like it, that's cool. It's just not for me now. If you excuse me, I'm going to watch Claws for the millionth time. So that's all I have to say today. Have a good day, and have a happy Christmas and New Year's.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let